we approach the start of the Austrian Grand Prix here in the Creator Series. It is 5 red lights. They go out, we go racing. What are the starts like? Good start from Lolinoba. Can Formula Kai hold on to the lead? Yes, he can. Watch out in the background for Infratic. It's his game, he says, as he looks to around the outside of Alex Gillen and gets the move done. Infratic's up to 4th place. Lolinoba is into the lead of this race further up the field then. As we make our way onwards towards turn 3, we're almost 3 wide. Gwat's trying to find a move down the middle, and look at Alex Gillen down the inside as well of Infratic and Gwat trying to get the power down. In the background then, Noguera is trying to find some positions against Hayden Gullis and Nick Flies, who I think both of them went 3 wide. Yellow flags in the background. Tuki has gone for a moment there, but Alex Gillen and Infratic battling hammer, tooth and nail. Whatever idiom you want to throw at it, that's what they're throwing at each other. Formula Kai takes back the race lead. It's swapping positions left, right and centre.
Yeah, great racing room and respect left by Alex Gillen and Infratic. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. But look behind, GB and Kareem 17 have had scorching starts, rampantly rising up the ranks. 13th for GB and 15th for Kareem. 4 positions gained, as it is for Tiamat Marduk as well. They are on a mission as an Alpine feints to the inside. It's Rasin Chai looking for the move, but momentum is compromised. He's invited his teammate to draw into that inside line, but Tom thinks better of it. Better to play the team game as they head through turn number 1 for the second time. DRS, of course, activated, and now we'll see the chaos unfold.
We surely will, as look at the battle for the lead. Lolinoba's looking for a move down the inside at turn 3. Can he get the car slowed down? Formula Kai might try a bit of a switchback here, and there's always a bit of gamemanship on that DRS. If you can make the move before you're actually ahead of the driver, you get that little bit of DRS as well. And for Lolinoba, he makes the move. Alex Gillen down the inside there of Gwatz, and Alex Gillen in towards turn 4, moves up to P3 from P4, and now his charge continues in the background as well. Razin Chai trying to go round the outside of that guy Vince in towards turns 6 and 7 we go. Did he get that move done? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. That guy Vince stays ahead. Razin Chai throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Vince at the moment. He can't find a way through just yet.
That guy Vince showing what he was worth through Worth Curve. However, Razin Chai and Tom, the 2 Alpines, the French connection between the pair of them, looking for the Alpine Annihilation station as Lolinoba sets the fastest lap of this race. 1 minute 7.0 as we head onto lap number 3. And you can imagine it's going to be swapsies, but a mistake from Infratic. Gets caught up on the sausage curve on the outside, and through goes that guy Vince Shorley, but sweeping round the pair of them goes Razin Chai, last week's race winner with a puff of smoke, a statement of intent. 2 for the price of 1. He's up into the top 5.
Razin's read that book before, hasn't he? He's bookmarked that chapter. What a great piece of driving there to get himself up into 5th place. Now he can set his eyes on what's up ahead. Kareem is also up to P13. And look at the melee behind. Nick Flies is ahead of GB. GB and Kareem trying to make their moves stick. Then GB up the inside of Nick in towards turn 6 we go then, as he's still got that inside line. Nick might ride a little bit wide, and that allows Kareem to get up the inside there with the door wide open. Kareem says, thank you very much, I'll take P12 from you. All 19 drivers, I should say, still within DRS range of each other. Portuki is 5 seconds back. We didn't quite see what happened to him down at turn 3 on the very first lap, but Lolinoba can't break DRS from Formula Kai just yet. And all aboard, it's a train here at Austria, don't miss it.
Absolutely, V-carb train led by Lolinoba. Formula Kai with a lethal dose of DRS. He's got so much speed, looks to the outside, pulls to the inside, and before they even make turn number 3, swipes across to redeem the racing line and indeed back the lead of this race. So great work from the American Dream, but Lolinoba now has a chance with that DRS, uses all of that and some battery to boot to then go ahead for the lead once again here. These two probably protecting themselves as well from Alex Gillen, from Gwatz, not fighting this overly hard at the moment. Early stages of this race, what they can't afford to do is endear others into this lead battle, because then that makes life extremely complicated.
Yeah, I want to say as well, Vince, I think, is on the hard tyres. Out of the top 10, I think he's the only one. Hayden Gullis is actually on soft tyres. So, yeah, not many difference of strategies at this stage, but mainly 18 drivers on the medium tyres. You've just got Hayden Gullis on the softs and Vince on the hard. So Vince looking to try and go long into this race at the first stage. But Nick, there's a problem for him down at the final corner. He manages to get going again. We didn't quite see what happened there. Maybe a half spin potentially, but he's all the way down to 19 19th place now, behind Scotty Designs, by the way. Formula Kai getting back past Lolinoba, but look at Alex Gillen. He's looking for a move once again, down the inside, in towards turn 3. Gets it nice and slowed down. Can he get the power down? And can he get second place? He'll get the DRS as well, as Lolinoba tries to find a way back through. There is no way back through just yet. Alex Gillen will have to take the inside line then, as he looks to go for a move for the lead against Formula Kai. Not quite yet. He has to hold on to second place, but Alex Gillen once again moving up the order.
Yeah, Formula Kai very much been marked by Alex Gillen. We see a replay of Blackmere's incident then. Sizing up a move, makes the move stick, but he's behind a McLaren, gets his braking wrong and actually locks up the rear brakes, and is so lucky not to be collected and caught by all of the other cars. Great work from all the drivers to have the initiative to just pull out of the way, but Alex Gillen just marking Formula Kai there, showing the nose to the inside. Any kind of pressure you can put on the leader, as big as you can make your car seem in the mirrors of that Haas driver, that's going to go a long, long way. And the championship leader trying to make this the fateful 4th victory.
Yeah, as Formula Kai already said, he expects Gillen to go for the win here. He expects him to have the pace as he goes down the inside, does Gillen, to try and make that move stick, gets the power down, and we have a new race leader in Alex Gillen, series leader, and now the Austrian Grand Prix leader, as we head away down towards turn 4. Lolinoba looking for a move down the inside of Formula Kai, then down towards turn 4 we go, and on the power we go. Lolinoba gets the move done. Formula Kai down to 3rd place. Vince in the background is up to 6th place now, so he's nice and making his way through the order there. Formula Kai down to 3rd place. You see the top 11 still within DRS range of each other, and Gillen here I think is just trying to dump the battery and try and get away from Lolinoba as much as possible, but due to how short this circuit is, that is not an easy thing to do.
Almost breaking outside of a second. I've been thoroughly impressed by Gillen's battery management this season, if nothing else. Has always found the ability and the luxury to save that electrical energy, and now he just briefly makes the gap over a second. Lolinoba quickly puts it back again as Hayden Gullis peels into the pit lane. Very early doors. Might that be for damage or some other kind of conundrum? We have no idea. Thoroughly impressed though by GB, and this man, Kareem 17, brave on the brakes, down the inside of the Kick Sauber driver. Nogueira will have that superior momentum on the outside, but not the tremendous traction he was looking for. And so, DRS and ERS all the way towards turn 4. Kareem wants it more, and he's through into the top 10.
Yeah, nice. He had to work for that one, didn't he? Nogueira made him work for that, but he got the move done as we make our way into these opening stages. Let's have a look, and this is what happened to Nick earlier on in this race. Then through towards turn 9, that back end says not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. Bit of a half spin for Nick. No damage done, but he's all the way down into what was 19th place. He's 18th place now that Hayden Gullis has pitted in from his soft tyres. So I wonder if the soft tyres really only did last 6 laps there. There is an Alpine coming into the pits lane then. That looks like it is Tom who's coming in. So Tom on the medium tyres is into the pit stand. That's very early stop then, maybe a handful of laps earlier than we'd expected. What tyres is ready for him? Hard tyres are going onto the Alpine and away he goes, so he will rejoin. Is he reacting to Hayden Gullis by any chance? We'll have to wait and see. There is Hayden Gullis in the picture-in-picture. Out of the pit lane Tom will go then, facing the right way. Through in towards turn 1, back on the power. Now, it's a little bit of an awkward one because if you're out of the pit lane, you actually are still vulnerable from those making their way out of turn 1 at the Niki Lauda curve. But that looks to me, Tom has got that move nicely done. If he was reacting to Hayden Gullis, he's reacted very well.
Yeah, primed and poised in P19 at the moment. Not too far behind the distant DRS train, though. So good stuff there from the Alpine driver. The Flying Dutchman can get well on his way. Hayden Gullis might start a bit of a domino effect here, though, making that early stop, potentially forcing some drivers into a 2-stop strategy. It'll be interesting to see how the lead train will react over these next few laps, but Formula Kai not going in, neither is Alex Gillen. In fact, forget it. Nobody else reacting. They're all confident with their tyre life and their pace at the moment. Ricky 03, though, is into the pits, though, possibly also responding, perhaps thinking, yes, I need to strap some fresh rubber on, get myself into some clear air, and ramp up that confidence again.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty early, though, for these medium tyres. Not too far away, but a wing change as well, perhaps. That's why he's thrown the towel in on those medium tyres. GB there is looking to try and get some move done on Infratic as he makes his way down the hill then towards turn 4. It's always difficult when the driver ahead also has DRS, but look at that. GB having to go round the outside. Infratic taking the inside line. GB had to go the long way round if he wanted that move. He did try it, but no way through there. Infratic defending well. The two Aston Martins having a great day there, but Infratic runs deep then in towards turn 6, and GB flies through, sails through, and takes over P7. Now his teammate Vince is right ahead of him.
He needed an invitation. Thank you very much, Fabio in the Ferrari. I'll have P7. Aston Martin now sitting pretty, P6 and 7 as a Ferrari peels into the pit lane. Infratic getting off those medium tyres as well. Maybe that running wide at the left-hander was all the indicator he needed to strap on some fresh Pirelli tyres, but Gillen and co stay put out on the track. It means GB and Kareem now 7th and 8th from the very back of the grid. It's been an absolutely remarkable start as Formula Kai is taking back the lead of this race meanwhile. While all of this is happening, as out of the pits comes Fabio, Formula Kai and Alex Gillen going into combat. Gillen, though, will have that DRS down this second back straight, and that will put him in a world of good. P1 retained for the time being, but plenty of hungry customers behind.
So who out of this leading pack is going to blink first? I mean, we've seen the likes of Infratic pit in, Tom pit in as well. You see Tom has got a 2.6 second lead over Infratic there. Now Infratic, of course, did run deep at turn 6 there. I'm sure he'll be delighted with me reminding you of that. But it did affect him a little bit there, as we see now drivers committing to the pit lane entry line. Of course, you have to commit very early. You have to commit before that entry line. But Formula Kai is into the pits then. So he had the luxury of doing the opposite of what Gillen, our race leader, was doing. And Formula Kai has decided now is the perfect time to pit in and get a fresh set of boots on the car. Hard tyres at the ready for the Haas. He gets away. It's a nice stop there. Where will he rejoin? We're looking at the likes of Tom, Hayden Gullis and Infratic. There is Tom in the bottom right of your picture, and Tom, by what's that, a 3-lap undercut there, has the position. There he goes, and so too goes Lolinoba, who also pitted in. So Formula Kai has lost out a little bit there. Hayden Gullis is through. Tom with a with 3 laps on those tyres already has got the undercut done.
Well, Kai managing to stay ahead of Lolinoba, which is good news for him, but the likes of Tom and Hayden Gullis, they're licking their lips here. This is potentially an absolutely pivotal moment in the race as they continue to close down on the leaders little by little. They were absolutely reeling in the train ahead exponentially. So Tom in a decent position here as he gets Hayden Gullis out of DRS range. You've got Razin and GB also, who pulled the pit lane trigger at the very back of this particular queue. And now this is where it gets interesting, as Gillen and Gwatz also peel into the pit lane.
Yep, on go the hard tyres for Gillen, and away he goes. And there's your onboard of the Haas then, making its way through in towards the final couple of corners. Formula Kai then getting back onto the power and trying to chase down Hayden Gullis. Gillen then leaving the pit lane. There you can see the train of cars making their way through in towards turn 1 as we speak. Then they're going to be neck and neck, are they, as they make their way out of the pit lane? No, Gillen rejoins behind Kai and Lolinoba. And look at Infratic here. I was saying about how you're out of the pit lane and you're already vulnerable to those out of turn 1. There goes Infratic up the inside of Hayden Gullis. What a move from Fabio there. He took full advantage of that one, and he's got himself up into P9. That was quick thinking from Infratic.
That was a delightful dive from him, and it was all to stop Alex Gillen behind from getting past as he also displaces the second V-carb of Hayden Gullis. He's looking to get up the road as quickly as possible. Kai's undercut him. Fabio's managed to undercut him. So has Lolinoba. So has Tom. They are in that good position now. They have the dirty air to work with as Razin goes down the inside at the Worth curve. Well, I'll tell you what, you've exponentially gained interest after that particular transaction. Well done you. Up to P11 he goes. More drivers peeling in. Kareem 70 and Nogueira next to pull the pit lane trigger. But with the trend that we've seen so far, the undercut being as powerful as it is, they're going to rejoin right at the back of this train.
They are, and there goes Gillen then up the inside of Infratic then, both of them getting back onto the power, and that looks like Gillen has momentum on his side. He'll be able to take over that position. What about Razinshire then, as he looks to make his way past Infratic as we head away up towards turn 3. There's battling up ahead, Lolinova down the inside of Tom, then in towards turn 3. Back on the power they both go. Looks like Lolinova has just about got ahead, but he's only ahead by a front wing, if that. Heading our way now down in towards turn 4 of Schlossgold we go, and Lolinova has the inside line. He does have a 3-second penalty to his name, which he has to serve at the end of this race. But right now, he'll be putting his head down. Nice move on Tom. What can he do from this position? It should be really interesting to see how it all plays out. GB is right on the back of Infratic at the moment. Datgo Vince is into the pits now. He did start on the hard tyres. GB's got a great run here. Surely he's not looking down the inside of the 9th corner of this circuit. No way through at Rint Corner then. Ben, Tim Marduk still out there on a set of medium tyres, is over and taken over the lead of the race. Vince leaves the pit lane then. What tyres has he put on? Looks like it's another set of hards for the Aston Martin. So yes, it's another set of hards for Vince. So he's clearly going a more conservative lineup there as Lolinova, Tom and Formula Kai make their way towards turn 3. There goes Tom up the inside in towards the 3rd turn of the circuit then to get the power down. No way through though against Lolinova.
Yeah, good stuff there, and Kai actually reading it at absolute perfection. He's now got DRS and the outside line, using the pace as much as he can, but look how brave Tom is on the brakes to show the nose to the inside and defend extremely well. Fair play to Tom. That was unbelievable confidence there to retain P3 in this race. All the while, this backs up cars behind to possibly assist his teammate into the action as well. So Alpine in a decent position here, but all eyes, number one, on this DRS train, but also all eyes on what Tiamat Marduk will do. He's staying out for at least another lap. And it'll be interesting here to see if drivers behind can get that one-stop strategy to work, but they have to tyre save to no end. Tiamat Marduk is in a prime position here to make this one-stop work, although he's got front wing damage on the left-hand side. Hasn't particularly hampered his pace, but nonetheless, just another conundrum to think about.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 4 laps away from half race distance, so he's not done a bad job on those medium tyres. As there up the inside goes Tom then in towards turn 3. He gets the power down, but look at Lolinova, has the superior tyres there. Neither of them get DRS. That's an invitation for Formula Kai. If there ever was one, is he going to make it 3 wide, heading our way down in towards Schlossgold? No, he doesn't. But Lolinova having to take the outside line to defend against Tom, and he does just that. Meanwhile, behind them, GB and Gwatz are battling away for position. Gwatz has the inside line, heading our way now through in towards Rock Corner as we head our way through in towards turn 6 and then towards turn 7. That looks like to me Gwatz has held on to that position for this moment in time, but 3rd place all the way down to 9th involved in this scrap here.
Absolutely, and behind them you've got the likes of Meraki, Kareem 17, that guy Vince, Nagera in their own little DRS train. All kinds of different trains are forming, should I say, but the crunchy munchy Caterpillar, led by Lolinova, is catching Tiamat Marduk at a significant speed as now Kai shows the inside line and shows Tom the sausage curb, and that's going to really compromise the Alpine's proceedings. Through goes Alex Gillen, through potentially goes Rasinchai on the inside, looking to not fight his teammate too hard, can't afford to lose too many positions, and attacked, trying to turn defence into attack, showing the nose to the outside of Gillen, who gets the momentum regardless on those fresher tyres and makes his way through into P4. Kai will not be phased by the McLaren man's advances, retains P3 on the road, what will provisionally be P2, when Ben bites the bullet of strategy. But we're on lap number 16 now, which surely the Mercedes man is committed to a supreme one-stop. There's no way he's not. But the question is, will those C3 tyres manage to survive?
Yeah, for another handful of laps. He will not pit this lap either. So he is really making those tyres last as long as they possibly can. Yeah, he's pretty much committing to the one-stop at this stage. The hard tyres, again, will need some management towards the end of this race, towards the start and the end. But Lolinova's right behind him now, through in towards the first corner we go of the Niki Lauda curve. Back on the power we go, and there is Lolinova. I don't think Ben's going to fight this too hard, you know, as Lolinova breezes his way through. I could be wrong about this, though. Ben might stick a nose in there. What about in the background, though? There's Alex Gillen up the inside as well of Formula Kai, trying to get the power down. They're going to be side by side, and look look at this, Tim at Marduk. It's going to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle here. He might box in Alex Gillen, but he might also give him a bit of a slipstream, a bit of a tow. There goes Formula Kai then, diving round the outside to get the move done. He knew he had to get that move done to not lose sight of Nolinova. And there, Alex Gillen as well, having to look for a move around the outside, does get the move done. It's critical for these drivers right around Tim at Marduk to get the moves done. They cannot afford to be behind him for any longer than they need to.
Yeah, Team at Marduk being perpetually shuffled down the order and box, that's the call. I think as soon as he was being overtaken by the leaders, he had to bite the bullet. So pulls to the inside, hopefully nobody clatters into the back of him, and alas they do not, and Team at Marduk will make what we presume is his one and only pit stop. Gillen won't be the most pleased man in the world though, as Kareem has woken up. He's got the fastest lap of the race and is embedded into this DRS train. But after all the aggressive Azerbaijan action last week, Gillen probably won't be very happy with the fact he was boxed in by Ben, allowing Kai the chance to scamper on down the road.
He won't be ideal at that at all, but also Gillen knows that it's still, we're only just about at half race distance. We haven't ticked over half race distance, so there is still a lot of battling to do as well. It's a hectic circuit to go battling at as we ride on board with the front wing of Lolinova. There is GB, who's getting down the inside of Gwatz. Those two have had a great scrap, race-long scrap so far. So GB's now up into 7th place. He's got Infratic right up ahead of him as we make our way through in towards Rock Curve, in towards turn 6, then towards turn 7 we go. Verth curve and onwards, then back on the power we go. Lolinova still has that 3-second penalty lurking and looming over him for 19 laps time. When he takes that checkered flag, he'll be dropped down 3 seconds. So for the likes of Formula Kai, Alex Gillen, Razan Chai, quite a few of them behind him, let's say. There's still a chance of another position here, as there is the two teammates swapping positions. Karim gets 8th place. That looked like team orders to me, but Karim won't be complaining. He now is on the back of GB.
Not even slightly. Perfectly poised and choreographed from the Red Bull team at the Red Bull ring. And now we go back into combat again. Kai right in the wheel tracks of Lolinova up ahead. Alex Gillen firmly poised and basically pushing Kai down the road towards turn number 4. He wants to get this move done as quickly as possible. And if you don't defend the inside line, best believe Gillen will try and prise it open. But Kai shuts the door on that one, says you have to try a little harder than that, my friend, and is now all over the back of Lolinova. It's an interesting compromise he's having to make because he doesn't actually have to be first on the road. If he keeps it in P2, and if they indeed aren't pitting for the rest of this race, then of course he'll inherit that win. So it's an interesting game Kai has to play in that department. Hayden Gullis saying anyone using the mediums is in the mud. You heard it here first, folks.
You definitely did. Someone that has to use the mediums, though, is Vince. He's on a set of hard tyres and he started the race on hards as well. So that's sort of news that Vince doesn't want to hear at this point in game. Maybe from one of our cleanest drivers on the grid, as voted by F125 in-game fans. Maybe that's a bit of mind games. We don't know at this stage, but Formula Kai knows he wants to get this move done up towards turn 3, up the inside of Lolinova. He gets the move done. Bit of a lock-up on entry, but he'll get the position and get the power down as well. Kareem, he's up into 7th place as he battles away with GB. So, yeah, keep one eye on him. He's making his way up through the order. Lolinova, he says you had the move at turn 3. Now I'm going to swoop round the outside at turn 4 and take that position back. A lot of swapping of positions thanks to the DRS here. So it's all a case of just making sure you're in the right place at the right time and get the strategy call absolutely spot on here. At such a high-octane circuit, at a circuit where you're going to have overtakes left, right and centre in those DRS zones, what's really important is making sure your tyres last and you get the strategy down to a T. There is Vince then, who's having a great old scrap with Meraki heading in towards the final 2 corners.
Yeah, Kareem was looking close as well to making a move on Fabio, but didn't quite happen. Gullis on the radio again. He's saying box. So it's a miracle that he hasn't then. So he's in the DRS zone. He's got to cubby onto that for as much as he possibly can. Ride along in first class until he just can't hang on any longer. As Meraki and Nogueira make this now a 13-car DRS train. Kai's through a Lolinova though. But here comes Alex Gillen down the inside, a puff of smoke as the front end with a shimmy and a shake as he looks to try and get that McLaren stop in any way possible. It's now a drag race towards turn number 4. If you show Gillen the inside line, he will try to take it. Puts the nose there to try and throw Kai off kilter. But the Haas driver will not be phased out of the lead of this race for the time being. We're only just over halfway through this race. It's practically been all action so far, and long may it continue.
16 laps go, 15 and a bit if you're picky. Formula Kai leads the way ahead of Alex Gillen. But how about Kareem? Up 13 positions from where he started this race. Up into P6 there, with Gillen in second place. Lolinoba in third, but with that penalty hanging over him. Razin Chai in fourth, Tom in fifth, Kareem in sixth, Infratic in seventh, GB in eighth, Vince in ninth, and Meraki blinks. He hits in, and so too does Hayden Gullis. So Hayden wanted to make sure that he made as much use of that DRS trade as possible to keep himself up there. The Ferrari is into the pits then. He's done 2 sets of mediums, so he's looking to go hard now to the end of the race. So he's gone for the more aggressive strategy out of the two. Hayden Gullis, who says anyone who's on the mediums is mudded. No surprise, he rejoins on a set of the hard tyres.
Stuff for him. Out they go. Do they get ahead of Mr. Tiamat Marduk? The answer is Meraki does, but Hayden Gullis does not. And now DRS and a bit of ERS, potentially in the corner of Tiamat Marduk come the next straight. Meraki saving battery though all the time. Of course, the Mercedes man has his tyres up to temperature, can use that DRS at his disposal to provide an absolutely lethal scythe down the inside of the Scuderia Ferrari car. Meraki's tyres, though, will have that superior traction, and they remain side by side on the exit of turn number 4. In the end, Meraki has to concede the position, and Benjamin Daly moves up into P15 at the moment. That's Watson Nogueira go into combat.
They do indeed, yeah, for a battle inside that top 10. Grotz and Nogueira, as you say, battling away. But they've got to be careful because now they've lost DRS to the cars up ahead. So now what they'll have to do is work together to try and get that back. Although 2.6 seconds is a long, long way up the road in terms of how close these drivers have been. It just seems like if you lose that DRS, you lose a lot of pace there. As Ben's saying, you're on cold tyres, get out of here. Well, you can hear that in his Aussie accent there, I'm sure you can. But he now makes his way onto the back of Tukey, up ahead of them, the two teammates. I wonder if, like the Red Bulls, there's going to be a little bit of a team order to swap positions. Ben's on the one stop, we think. That's certainly how he's extended those medium tyres. So can he whisper to those tyres, a careless whisper, to get them to the end of the race?
Possibly, but he's got to have faith to do it. But Meraki at the moment is restoring the Ferrari faithful up into P14. On board with Nogueira, who has pitted onto those medium tyres recently. Hayden saying many people on mediums were mudded. Well, it can only be good omens for Nogueira then. On to lap number 24 we go. Alex Gillen retains the lead of this race. Formula Kai in P2 with Lolinoba still in that DRS train, as is Razin Chai, as is Kareem 70, who I've been thoroughly impressed with, because if he can do it in race 1, there's no reason why he can't also do it in race 2, when inevitably, if the results stay like this, he'll be shuffled down to the back once again.
Will indeed. Meraki then setting the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 6.5 is our new fastest lap of the race, as Formula Kai and Alex Gillen go battling once again. Will look for the inside move. No, he will not, as down towards turn 4 we go. I wonder at this point if any driver around has sort of thought, let's work together, but maybe they've been trying to do that for the last 23 laps and it just hasn't happened because it's very difficult to break the DRS out of somebody. Considering there's 3 DRS zones, there needs to be a significant pace advantage you need over somebody else to break the DRS there. And Formula Kai is just on the brink of breaking DRS to Lolinoba as we make our way through in towards the final 2 corners. I think he has broken DRS because Lolinoba is into the pits. Razin Chai will get a free position there, but will he also get the DRS? Yellow flags out in sector 3. I think that's at the final corner for drivers making their way into the pits then. So Lolinoba, Tom, Infratic, GB, Grotz all blink for their final stop of the day.
You can see how bashed and thrashed Lolinoba's front tyres were as he locked up into the pit lane. Absolutely annihilated those tyres into oblivion. Now he's got that fresh set of mediums though, and where does he emerge in all of this though? Ferrari driver through turn number 1. That is Mr. Meraki. Where does he emerge? It's ahead of the V-Carb driver for the moment, but now it's time for maximum slipstream for the V-Carb car. I imagine he will just sit in that DRS for the time being and hopefully wait till the tyres get to temperature. Meanwhile, behind, 3 wide into turn number 3, and Tiamat Marduk reigns supreme on that particular occasion. That was almightily close, but absolutely perfectly executed. As Hayden Gullis behind finishes the job on the Williams, and Nogueira follows him through as well. That's how cutthroat the momentum switch can be. If you just compromise that little bit, in a heartbeat, you're down 3 positions.
Well, Lolinoba's also got past Meraki as well in the next couple of corners, so he's all the way through. Kareem stays out, but you've got Gillen, Kai, Razin and Vince all into the pits then. Doesn't like I was reciting a poem and it all didn't rhyme, and I was very sad. But on go the medium tyres for Formula Kai. He leaves the pit lane and does emerge ahead, or no, maybe he doesn't, of Alex Gillen. Gillen's got the jump on him in the pit stops then. But what about to the right-hand side of your screens then? Lolinova, Meraki trying to now gain some positions where they can, as we've been Lance Stroll. We need to know what happened. Meraki here does make his way, trying to find a way past Alex Gillen then, up towards turn 3 and round the outside. Gillen, meanwhile, tries to put the attack on Lolinova, attacking and defending at exactly the same time. He manages to hold on to P3, but with that DRS, he's looking to now get the inside line. Down towards turn 4 we go, and Gillen does get the move done, moves himself up into second place. Is there a chance of a switchback here for Lolinova? Not at the moment then, as we make our way through. So Alex Gillen up into second place. Now, the question is, when does Kareem pit? 11 to go, 10 and a bit if you're picky.
Absolutely. Well, he stays out for the time being. And is there a Red Bull fairy tale being concocted in the cauldron of the Styrian Hills? Well, you never know. At the moment, he's staying put. The gap 15 seconds. And if he does indeed try and go, I'll be interested to know what his tyres are on. If he does go for that brave and bold one stop, if that is his golden ticket to a race win, of course he's going to take it. He was one of those that blinked later off of the medium tyres in that first stint. Already, though, Alex Gillen has gained a second, and those cars behind, a second through Sector 3 alone. So clearly the two-stop paying off massive dividends at the moment. But Lolinova looking to potentially go on the attack. Instead, it's an Alpine on a Ferrari. Razin Shai goes through, but it's those medium tyres. When do Meraki's hearts find that crossover? And when does the ascendancy go into his corner?
Well, it's looking at it, 10, maybe 11 laps on those medium tyres, and we see the best of them. Ben taking his much, much further, 17 laps, but they were really gone by the end of his stint. So we have the likes of Formula Kai. He's on 2-lap-old tyres at the moment, as there is Kareem. So I was going to say, if he stays out another lap, he's surely committing to a one-stop, and it would have been tough to get there, but he slows the car down just, locks it all sorts of sideways to get it slowed down, but there should be medium tyres to get him to the end of the race then. But where will he rejoin? He's done a fantastic job to fight his way through the field from P19, but look at that train. Which carriage is his as he'll make his way out of the pit lane? Off the limiter he will go, and as he makes his way through in towards turn 1 we go. It's a big undercut time. He says it's time to get the elbows out. He rejoins in 9th place on the freshest tyres on the train.
Oh, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps fresher than anybody else in this Styrian Express. Kareem 17, the ball's in your court. You've just got to make it happen. First target out the road is the kick Sauber. Meanwhile, that guy Vince looking to gazump a Mercedes Maestro, and he will do so before they even make the corner. Kareem's already down the inside of Nogueira. Elbows out, absolutely. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. Kareem up into P8 and setting his sights now on the V-carb of Hayden Gullis, who is just teetering on the edge of the RS.
Oh, very good indeed. Yeah, Kareem is using those fresher tyres to great effect. And, well, now that he's pitted so late onto those medium tyres, maybe he's not going to be affected by the crossover of Delta, that eventually the hard tyres will be the better tyre to be on. Meanwhile, Formula Kai looking up the inside of Lolinova. Lolinova doesn't fight that too hard. He realises he's out of DRS range of Alex Gillen. And now it's a case of, are those two going to form an impromptu alliance to try and catch Alex Gillen? He's outside of DRS range for now. Razin Shai moving up to 3rd place as we make our way up towards turn 3. Alex Gillen's worked hard here to break the DRS. Can he now stay ahead and stay away from that DRS train? The only problem is there's 3 of them, and if they all start working together behind you, it's very, very difficult to stay out of DRS range.
That alliance was quickly eviscerated. Kareem 17, though, is on the move again. Past Tom he goes, the Flying Dutchman displaced, and the mercurial Moroccan is absolutely flying out there. Of course, he's on those fresher tyres, but he has to make it count. Crucially, with things like dirty air, with the tyre wear being higher as a result as you scrub the surface of those Pirellis, which no doubt will turn into pyroclastic flows in a matter of moments, but at the moment, just gaining and gaining some more, hitting every single apex like there's no tomorrow, within half a second of Meraki, who doesn't have DRS, fastest lap of the race, all momentum in the Red Bull driver's favour.
Yeah, was there any surprise he'd just set the timing screens alight then going purple setting a new fastest lap of the race then. 1.3 is the gap between Gillen and Kai then, as looking maybe down the inside is Meraki, but Karim gets up to 5th place now as he looks to try and continue his charge up the field. 1.4 seconds between himself and Lolinoba, and then he'll have a trio that are battling right now for 2nd place. You've got Formula Kai here, who's trying to just reel himself back onto the back of Alex Gillen here, through in towards turn 5 and 6 we go, and then in towards turn 7 and 8. 1.1 is the gap. You see Kai is actually closing in on Gillen through the corners. He really is going full attack where he can. Perhaps Gillen is just trying to save his tyres, save a little bit of battery where he can, through in towards turns 9 and 10. But there you can see through 9 and 10, Gillen absolutely sends it, and all that time that Kai did gain is just evaporated again.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, psychologically, Gillen's got this wrapped, signed, sealed, delivered, and all the rest, because Kai and Co using their battery behind, of course, they have the triple DRS assistance to try and get themselves closer and closer. But at the same time, Gillen, he can just save a bit of battery. He knows that if they just teeter on the edge of a second, he can just throw it into non-ERS, save as much battery as possible, and then dump it towards the Rindt curve and the Red Bull curve to round off the lap and keep them at arm's length. It's absolutely crisply calculated by the championship leader. That's exactly what he needs to do, as we now look again at the Red Bull man, the man of the moment, as Fabio goes into combat. It's Portuguese wars going on, and the Portuguese man of war in this case is Infratic. Up into P10 he goes. Again, Kai gets so close, teetering on the edge of a second, but again, Gillen could just deploy that battery if he needs to, keep Formula Kai out of arm's length, and then with that extra crumb of confidence in his corner, just escape out of DRS again. Although, here comes Kai.
Here comes Kai, and here comes Karim then. He's on the back of Lolinoba. It's a form of NASCAR. There you go. Up towards turn 1. Karim deciding not to go for the move here. Perhaps maybe prioritising that move towards turn 3. Look at that. He got so much of a better exit out of turn 1. Karim now up into 4th place. And with that DRS, is he close enough to Razin? No, he's not this time. In towards turn 3. Can Lolinoba maybe try something down towards turn 4? Does he have the tyres to do it? Hayden Gullis and Tom, meanwhile, battling away in towards turn 3, still battling away. They're still side by side, and look behind them, it's Vince as well, who wants a piece of the action, as Hayden Gullis has the DRS, he has the inside line, heading away down in towards turn 4 we go, side by side they will run. Tom's on the medium tyres, you'd think he have the grip there, round the outside. It also gives him the inside line, heading in towards turn 6 we go. Still side by side they run, with Hayden Gullis around the outside in towards turn 7. Gullis now has the inside line for 8, 9 and 10, and he's held on superbly well. Hayden Gullis and Tom battling side by side for more than half a lap, and Hayden Gullis comes out on top.
Well, there's your overtake of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I think just wrap up the award right now. Hayden, that was remarkable racing from the pair of them. Hayden Gullis comes out on top on those harder compound tyres. And I tell you what, the battle's not done, because Tom's back down the inside again. Clearly, their element of CQC is not nearly done and dusted, as that guy Vince will get involved now. What was an absolutely delightful double scrap, now a third party has entered the fray, and through goes that guy Vince on Hayden Gullis, Infratic close behind, Gwatz and Nogueira fighting in the background. Meanwhile, Karim 7T has put himself onto the podium with just under 3.5 tours to go.
I mean, it's one of those races where you have absolutely no idea where to look, and I'm here for it. I'm loving it. I'm not sure Gareth is loving this behind the cameras, trying to keep up with it all. But yes, Karim is up to 3rd place at the moment. At lap 33 here. Once we cross the line, we'll have 3 laps to go here in Austria. And I have some delightful news. This is only race number 1. We have another race following after this, where we do it all again, but backwards. Riding on board then with Karim. 3 laps to go. Gillen leads from Kai and Karim, and then it's Razin rounding off the top 4. They've managed to break away from the rest of the pack. I wouldn't say it's easy pickings for Karim, but he's got to pick his moments and pick them wisely. He's on the freshest tyres out of all of these runners here. 2 laps fresher tyres than Kai and Gillen here. He has to play his cards right. He looks for a move up the inside in towards turn 3, trying to get the power down. Will he have the DRS to help him along his way? He might try and see if he can get a bit of a tow from Gillen up ahead. Kai is actually benefiting from that. He'll try to hang it round the outside outside, will Formula Kai, but on the weaker tyres, on 2-lap older tyres, there's no way he can hang on. And Kareem now up into second place and chasing down Alex Gillen for the lead of this race. It's funny how things happen. Alex Gillen did say that Kareem will probably win this race. Kareem's only one position away from that happening.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? It's a Styrian fairy tale in the hills, and this is only script number 1 of this week. Kareem, one position between him and absolutely gargantuan glory in race number 1, and a trip to P20 in race number 2. Meanwhile, behind him, Fratic, again, trying to get his elbows out, looking for potential manoeuvres on the V-carb of Hayden Gullis ahead. Meanwhile, Kareem 70, how do you play this, sir? Tell you what, talk about play your cards right. He said, P2, nice to meet you. P2 said, to meet you, nice. Kareem 70, firmly in the wheel tracks now of Alex Gillen, but Kai's not done yet. Diving down the inside goes the Haas driver, and the American dream is wheel banging out of turn number 3 to put Kareem 17 slightly off the course of trying to win this race. Chops to the inside to deter Formula Kai from a potential maneuver. This is mission critical for Kareem 17, and he does absolutely everything he needs to do. Nearly one tour of this race to go. Imperative that he kept P2 on the road. And now, this is going to be, let's just put it this way, it's going to be a blockbuster ending.
Well, we had a similar scenario in Spain where it was all about battery management. Gillen managed to come out on top against Ben in Spain. Here in Austria, he's got a new opponent in Kareem as we make our way through in towards the final corner for the penultimate time. Here we go then. Final lap in race number 1 here of the Creator Series at the Austrian Grand Prix. Who's going to take the victory? Is it Alex Gillen? Is it Kareem? Perhaps Formula Kai and Razin can pick up the lost pieces then as Kareem goes onto the full attack. He needs to know Alex battery. So do we. As we make our way up towards turn 3 we go. Gillen taking and defending the inside line as Kareem tries to send it up the inside. They're both off the circuit then. And Formula Kai, can he take advantage? No, he can't. Gillen and Kareem lock tyres once again. Look at Formula Kai, he's itching there, he's crashed, he's off, Formula Kai is off, and surely his race is over there as Kareem down the inside of Alex Gillen, in towards turn 4 we go, he's got the position, but Gillen round the outside. I think Kareem ceded that position, or has he? Alex Gillen round the outside then, in through turn 6 we go, Kareem has the inside line through, in towards turn 7, if Gillen can hold on, he'll have the inside line, but he can't hold on. Kareem takes over the lead of this race, Gillen in second, and Razin rounding off the top 3 as Gillen looked for it up the inside there, maybe to try and put off Kareem. There was no putting him off in towards turn 9. Kareem from 19th on the grid takes the victory in race number 1 here of the Creator Series at the Austrian Grand Prix. Gillen finishing in second place and Razin Chai rounding off the top 3. Commiserations to Formula Kai. He tried to make the move stick. It was one direction change, too swift and too many. He still manages to finish 10th, but what could have been for Formula Kai and what is for Kareem 70?
Isn't that the double-edged sword of Formula 1, ladies and gentlemen? Kareem 70, take a bow, lady. Just take a bow. That was absolutely unbelievable action. And that's only race 1. We have a second race to enjoy. A double dose of Austrian delight. And at the Red Bull Ring, it's a Red Bull on top. Heavy's the head that wears the crown. The Moroccan Prince gets his first win in Season X.
There is the commiserations of Scotty Designs, by the way, who manages to make his way through. Then he will finish on the lead lap and make his way, trundles, I think is the word you could use, across the line. He's not last, he's second to last as he makes his way across. But huge congratulations to Kareem, our winner of race number 1 here in the Creator Series.
I mean, they had to play it perfectly. They had to get the move done. I was always thinking he had to make the move into turn number 3 because he wasn't quite sure of Gillen's battery, and that could have been the difference maker. He put that out of perspective, though. Managed to have the DRS to turn number 4, got the elbows out. He said he was going to do it all the time. When all is said and done, he lifts the trophy aloft. Race number 1 belongs to the Red Bull driver. 1-0 in Kareem's corner.
And from P19 on the grid, how that sets it up for him. He'll have to do it all again from one position further back in race number 2. But I'm sure he'll be enjoying that one. It was a bit of a scrap towards the end as our cleanest driver this time is Meraki. So there you go. He gets the cleanest driver award then, voted by the in-game fans. But it's domination for Kareem on the votes there. Fastest lap as well, and the race victory to boot as well. He takes the first victory of tonight. Alex Gillen in second, Razin in third, Meraki in fourth, Lolinoba fifth, Tom in sixth, Vince in seventh, Hayden Gullis in eighth, and Fratic in ninth, Formula Kai 10th, Tim Mardik 11th, GB in 12th, Noguera 13th, Gwatz in 14th, Ricky 15th, Tuki in 16th, Chappers 17th, Scott Taylor in 18th, Scotty Designs, by the way, in 19th, and Nick rounding off the 20. We go straight into this for Austria reverse. It's 5 red lights. And we go racing the wrong way round. What are the starts like? It's a good start this time from Nick Flies, but look at the background as well. Lolinoba's trying to get a good start as well as we head in towards turn 1 for the first time. Nick having to go the long way round and holds on to the lead. Through and towards turn 2 we go. The McLaren still leads the way. Scott Taylor in 4th place there as Gwatz is trying to move his way up the order. He's up into 5th place, but he's under immense pressure from Ricky. Heading in towards turns 3 and turn 4 now, a Verth curve. Getting back on the power as we rise up the hill towards Rock. Look at the armada behind for what looks like is going to be P10, P11 downwards there, but Nick is having a great time so far as we head in towards Schlossgoal. It's a really difficult corner here to get the power down. Chappers looks like he's got a good run on Scotty Designs, by the way. Up the hill we go then, and towards what is a very tricky braking zone at Remus then, as we head away up the order. Now only 2 drivers starting on the soft tyres then, and only Tuki on the hards, as there down the inside goes an Aston Martin of GB, trying to make some moves happen then on Ricky, as we head away down the hill then, and down towards what is now the final corner at Nicky Lauda curve then. Very, very difficult left-hander to be dealing with here. You can see how wide as Scotty Designs, by the way, goes. He's just referencing where the Armco is, but the first lap is done and dusted, and much less chaos than I thought.
Trying to get acquainted with Barrier, but Barrier is a fickle character as Gwatz goes into combat with Scott Taylor. All action early on and sweeping round the outside goes the Red Bull driver. That is a marvellous move if he managed to just keep it in between the lines, and he absolutely did. Magnificent move from Gwatz. Up into P4 he goes, and GB's also on the move, sizing up the outside line, but Ricky blocks the apex off, defends it diligently, keeps that P6 for the moment. This corner though, Schlossgold defends the inside, actually looks to feint a move on Scott Taylor. You can do it if you have that momentum on your side, but there will be that compromise as behind. Kareem's been shuffled back down to P20. It's Tom that's on the move meanwhile, as Gwatz up into P3. Down the inside goes the Red Bull driver. So much like in qualifying, massively contrasting fortunes. One Red Bull in the wars, the other one up into the podium places.
And how about Tiamat Marduk then, up into 7th place now, as look at the Haas behind him as well, trying to send it down the inside. Formula Kai, as Ben goes into the barrier then. That was an ambitious move from Formula Kai. He does go up into 8th place. I wonder if Ben, does he have any damage? Damage, do you have any, Ben? As we head away through in towards turn 1 to start the 3rd lap of this race then, as Tiamat Marduk once again, yeah, does he have damage from that angle? I can't see it clearly. However, he will know for sure what he has. It does look okay as he looks for a move to go round the outside, going in towards Verth curve. He'll get the cut back here, will he? Down the inside as we head our way up in towards Rock curve, getting the power down once again as we've got yellow flags there. That's Lolinoba who's in a bit of trouble. He gets going again though, but down in P20, and he's got a bit of gravel on the tyres. Perhaps it's gone wide at Verth curve.
No physical damage, just emotional. Meanwhile, Gwatz is up into P2. Everybody else gets shuffled because Tuki's in the wall. He's had a massive spin.
And he's beached.
Turn 4, completely beached as well. We could see a safety car. And it's quite interesting here because a VSC at the moment, interesting to see if the safety car does get pulled out, as indeed Tuki will get on his way. But the interesting thing, we haven't mentioned this today, but intentional safety cars are off the table. Can't cause them whatsoever. So any safety car that happens today has to be because of racing conditions. Nick Flies, though, holds the lead for the moment. Gwatz in a great position at the moment. Has to stick under the delta, though. We've seen many, many drivers play chicken, but my God, many drivers into the pit box with an instantaneous impact. Tiamat Marduk and a smattering of others looking to put the fresh rubber to good use.
Yeah, and I think they're probably all going to go on to hards, so they're probably going to go 2 stops for hards now, or at least one more stop, 2 sets of hards to use towards the end of this race. I think all of them used the medium tyres, apart from Tuki. He was on the hards. He's gone onto a set of mediums now under this virtual safety car. You do lose less time, of course, in the pit lane under a virtual safety car. I think it saves you around about 6 seconds, but Infratic gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. We are back to green flag racing. but Emphatic will have to serve that drive-through within 3 laps here, as Scotty Designs, by the way, making his way down in towards the, I was going to say the third corner. It's not anymore. It's the 8th and 7th and 8th corner, or 9th corner. I'm lost. Can anyone find me?
Well, luckily, GB's kept it pointed in the right direction as he looks to try and displace Ricky once again, who's actually managed to make his way up into P4 when all chaos and conundrums are taken into account. But now it's the Aston Martin driver's turn with the RS on the start-finish straight, potentially thinking about feinting to the inside, dives it down the inside and through on, sweeps GB into P4. Didn't have the rub of the green fully in that first race in the correct direction, but in reverse proceedings so far, he is a whisker away from a potential podium. Meanwhile, Gwatz is getting whiskers away to potential lead of the race, as we have a replay to look at here, Kieran.
We do indeed, and this is the incident with Formula Kai and TM Marley. You see Formula Kai straight down the inside, so from there, I don't think Ben got any damage whatsoever. He got very, very lucky there. But yeah, Kai just trying to send it down the inside, as there is Emphatic serving his drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. He'll now rejoin onto the circuit. He will be 20th, but now he'll press on and see what happens up ahead of him. There's already been one virtual safety car. You never quite know what's going to happen. Meraki then trying to get the move done on Vince then, as he gets the power down and moves ahead of the Aston Martin. Meraki now up into 11th place as he makes his way onwards now towards the final corner, looking for an inside move is Kareem, but no way through this time around. And as Kareem said, you know, it's going to be a tougher time to make his way through the order here, because you're battling with the drivers you were battling for the win last time around, so it's even tougher to get past them, so it's even tougher to get right onto the back of those up ahead of you, as there goes GB round and down the inside of Scotty Designs, by the way, and up into 3rd place. I'd like to say that Scotty didn't put too much of a fight into that. I think he realises the battle is with Ricky behind, and also he'll get some DRS from GB on the next straight.
There was a monstrous slingshot from GB out of the Rindt curve. Absolutely magnificent from the Aston Martin ace. Williams sitting pretty in 5th and 6th at the moment. Don't count them out. Ricky's got good pace. Chappers holding on to DRS for the moment, but Ricky piling on the pressure on Scotty Designs through the old turn 3. Meanwhile, Kareem 70 is done with waiting behind the Aston Martin, looking to displace the green machine at Red Bull's home track. But that guy Vince has the better exit, uses the outside line to good effect, and will remain in P12 for the moment. Kareem said it would be a harder time again. Feints to the inside, says, you know exactly where I'm going to be. Meanwhile, his teammate, what can he do about the McLaren man at the front? Switch back into the Rindt curve. Just got to afford the space on the outside. Nick flies, sweeps around, uses the momentum to good effect, but Gwatz is still side by side. Will have to concede, though, as they make their way into the Worth curve. But possibly the writing on the wall for the McLaren. Gwatz is nipping at his heels.
I'm sure Alex Gillen is actually cheering on from the sidelines here. He's in 9th place. We're behind Formula Kai at the moment, but Nick is doing a fantastic job in the lead of this race. Gwatz in 2nd place. GB now right on the back of the pair of them. Scotty Designs, by the way, in 4th place with Ricky in 5th. Gwatz is closing and closing with that DRS. Is he going to look for a move down the inside in towards turn 8 here? No, he doesn't. But he'll get back on the power as he'll then make his way through in towards turn 9 and then at the final corner of the Nicky Lauda curve. There is Alex Gillen. He's in 8th place at the moment, still within DRS range of Scott Taylor, as there is Gwatz down the inside in towards the final corner. It's a difficult corner now to get the move done. He'll get the power down, but look at GB looking to the inside now, 3 wide, down the start-finish straight, in towards the first corner we go, and GB makes the move stick. GB takes the lead in the Aston Martin, gets all sorts of sideways on the exit, so too does Nick Flies, but what a move from GB. He saw that move unravelling in front of him and just put his car in the right place at the right time. Great stuff.
Kit firmly picked. Fantastic from the Aston Martin driver. Up into P1 he goes. Gwatz and Nick Flies. Their battle has been well and truly sorted out. Gwatz moves ahead, but he's still in P2. He's got GB now to fight with if he wants the lead of this race. Alex Gillen, meanwhile, holding down P8. Brassin, though, manages to displace Formula Kai. Good news for the Alpine man. Through into P9 he goes as they look to try and move their way and muscle their way up the order. Meraki, the next driver to wreak havoc on the Haas team. Up to P10 goes the Scarlet Ferrari through the old turn 3, what is now turn number 8, and then the dastardly descent down the hill as we head on towards lap number 9. Alex Gillen going for it on Scott Taylor and on Chappers, and through he goes round the outside. Goes the championship leader. A mighty move there from the McLaren as Scott Taylor peels into the pits.
Formula Kai also into the pits as well, so they're both ready to bin off their tyres. Formula Kai started this race on the soft tyres, so no wonder he's in. Maybe Scott Taylor a little bit earlier than we maybe expected, but he's going to rejoin now on the hard tyres. And if that's the case, he's looking to run hards for his next and final stint after this one, but he will rejoin now. Should him rejoin well ahead of Tukey then as well as Formula Kai, of course, who pitted in with him. So Scott Taylor rejoins in 17th place, 2.9 seconds behind TM Marduk. Now, considering Ben pitted under the virtual safety car, for Scott Taylor to only be 3 seconds behind him, it's not as bad of a loss as it could have been.
Not at all, not at all, and that will just play a part in keeping positive omens flowing in the Kick Sauber camp. His teammate Nogueira, meanwhile, provisionally, when all pit stops are played out at the moment, will be in the lead of this race, provided there isn't a safety car or virtual safety car to ruin that fairy tale. Speaking of which, our pole sitter, Mr. Nick Flies, he's dived into the pit lane at the end of lap number 9.
Pits in then and gets rid of those medium tyres, so he's probably looking to have 2 more stints of hard tyres to get him to the end of the race. Lap number 10 of this reverse race at Austria. We reversed the track and we reversed the grid as well. GB leads the way though. Gwat's in 2nd place with Scotty Designs, by the way, in 3rd place. Won't somebody please stop the count for Scotty Designs, by the way. He's under pressure from Ricky then as we head away through in towards the roll curve. And then Alex Gillen in 5th place. There is Nick, who rejoins ahead of Scott Taylor then and right behind TM Marduk. So that is, well, it's going to be a battle for position for sure. Again, Nick rejoining on a set of the medium tyres, so he's going very aggressive on his tyre strategy here in this 2nd race of today. He has to run the hard tyres yet, so he needs another stop, but he's going the aggressive route.
It was heartbreak for him last week out in Baku, but clearly throwing caution to the wind here in the Styrian Hills, right behind the Mercedes man. Meanwhile, Alex Gillen, his teammate, sitting pretty in P5, does not choose to pit at the end of this lap as Kareem finally, I think, gets the move done on that guy Vince. And indeed he does, because that guy Vince is into the pit lane, so actually cost Kareem a considerable amount of time. It's been decoupled from that train up at the front. GB and Gwatz are in a realm of their own, by the way, as Scotty Designs, by the way, continues to create that gap as Alex Gillen goes down the inside of Ricky, and Razin Chai will follow swiftly through. Perfectly orchestrated for the Alpine man, and both of them ascend up the ranks. Now just have Scotty Designs in the way of themselves and a potential scrap at the podium.
Oh, that's a spin for Ricky in the background. He's dropped the back end. Coming out of Rock Corner, goes onto the gravel, rejoins again, but yeah, drops the rear end, and I wonder if that's a case of the rear tyres. That's a sign of them crying out in despair that they need to be changed. Alex Gillen then looking for a move up the inside of Scotty Designs, by the way, through in towards turn 8 we go, back on the power we go then, and Alex Gillen looking like he got initially a better run. He does now with the DRS, and makes his way through in towards turn 9, down towards the final quarter, the Nicky Lauda curve, in towards turn 10, and Scotty Designs, by the way, says, I'm done with these tyres, give me some new ones. For Gillen up into 3rd place, Razin up to 4th, Meraki up into 5th place.
Yeah, white flag firmly away from Scotty Designs, but a valiant effort nonetheless to hold down the podium positions. Unfortunately, there was no obligatory red flag to partake in the position in turn 1 because he didn't. But into the pits goes the Haas driver and onto a set of the hard compound tyres for his first stop of the race. So now only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars waiting to pull the pit lane trigger. But it'd be interesting to see what the pace now of race leader GB and Gwatz is compared to Alex Gillen. How much confidence does the McLaren man have on his medium tyres as GB and Gwatz continue to hold a 3.5 second almost worth of gap?
Okay, keep an eye as well on Nick in P11 right now. He's absolutely flying at the moment, or is that flysing at the moment? He's up in 11th place at the moment, behind Tom, who has pitted already, but pitted very early on under the virtual safety car for a set of the hard tyres, assuming he's going to put on another set of hard tyres to get him to the end of the race. This is position critical for Nick at the moment. He needs to get past Tom, he needs to get past Hayden Gullis, and he needs to get past Nogueira as we make our way through in towards the final corner we go. go. Meanwhile, right behind them, Lolinova is trying to find his own way past Nogueira up ahead as we make our way towards turn 1. Lolinova will have to go the long way round if he wants that move done and dusted. He has a little bit of a switch back here up the inside of turn 2. Yes, he will go up the inside at Rind Corner and tries to make that move stick, but he can't quite do it there. Nick in the background as well, looking to try and take advantage of a move up the inside, but he couldn't find that way past Tom.
More impressive because Lolinova hasn't actually made a pit stop this race, so even on those older medium tyres, still gave a fierce fight to Nogueira, but couldn't quite win it out. He's now got his teammate, Hayden Gullis, behind, who is under all sorts of pressure from the Flying Dutchman on board with the Alpine driver. DRS wide open as they toboggan their way towards the old turn 3, what is now turn 8 at Remus Corner. Hayden Gullis looking to be looping his way through past his teammate Lolinova as who's that? Nick Flies has entered the fray. Down the inside he goes to take maybe not 1, but 2 positions. Through he goes on the V-carb of Lolinova, who peels into the pits and keeps Tom at arm's length as well. Thoroughly impressive stuff from our pole sitter.
Yeah, Nick Flies having to shut the door. They did lock wheels there, did Tom and Nick, but Tom looking round the outside in towards turn 1 there. Can he get that move done? No, he can't. He can't get himself back ahead of Nick. Nick on the medium tyres. He's on fresher tyres at this moment. You'd expect him to try and carve his way through the field. Scott Taylor picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Meanwhile, then, you've got Nick now has his sights set on Hayden Gullis up ahead and have the DRS as well. Fresher tyres. There is your race leader then, GB. 3.4 seconds ahead of Razin as we make our way in towards turn 8 then. It's a nice drive at the moment from the Aston Martin, and meanwhile Gwat's having to go the long way round against Scott Taylor. Back on the power he goes through Schlossgold. That was a move of gold as he makes his way up in towards 11th place.
Absolutely worth its weight in it, and Nick Flies has overcooked it on the brakes. A trip through the sandbox, and all of the impressive adulation that we'd given him earlier is now about to deteriorate because through went Tom, through now goes Tiamat Marduk, and Kai and Co behind are going to be reeling in the McLaren, man. Bro,
I hope it's not. It's happened. It's happened
we
again.
need to know.
We need to know. We need to know. Nick Flies then in 7th place at the moment then, so he's still behind the likes of Tiamat Marduk and Tom at the moment, but he's got to make those fresher tyres work to good use at the moment. He did run a little bit wide. Is he taking too much life out of his tyres? This is going to be the important thing. He's on a very aggressive strategy. He started on the mediums. He went for another set of mediums for his middle stint. He has to end the race on the hard tyres. Although it's aggressive, you do need to have some sense of, well, looking after your tyres at that point. There's Formula Kai as we head away through in towards Schlossgold. Back on the power we go then. Formula Kai is right behind him. You can't see him in the mirrors, and perhaps that's more ominous than if you can. As we make our way through in towards turn 8, he's looking Formula Kai down the inside in towards turn 8. He goes lock up there, but he manages to get it stopped in time, and Formula Kai moves up to P7.
Yeah, smokescreen generation from the Haas driver, but I tell you what, if it works, it works. He's up to P7. Race leader GB pulls the pit lane trigger, and it will be a set of the hard compound tyres. So quite possibly, one stops more so on the horizon. Didn't see too many last time out, but there's every single chance that they could play a massive benefactor today. Where does GB emerge in all of this, though, as Kareem sets the fastest lap of the race, a 106.3. on those hard compound tyres as he's looking to usurp Scotty Designs, by the way. Yellow flag, meanwhile. Ricky, I think, has had a problem. No, it's Razin.
It's Razin.
Razin's had a problem.
What on earth has happened to Razin? That was on turn 2 exit, which is where the pit lane is. And of course, it's an awkward pit lane to enter going the right way around. It means it's a really awkward exit onto the track there. I wonder if that had something to do with it. Meanwhile, Gwatz is trying to get away past the likes of Hayden Gullis and Tiamat Marduk, and he has done just that as he makes his way in towards turn 8 here. We're watching Nogueira as he's on the back of Tom then, on the run now, down in towards turn 9 and onwards towards turn 10, as that's Alex Gillen who makes his way into the pit lane. Like you say, for GB, he's got to make those hard tyres last 21 laps if he wants to make them to the end of this race. It's a long way to go, but perhaps it is more possible to go do that at the one stop the wrong way around than it is the right way around. As Alex Gillen then will make his way down the pit lane, he's got to take those hard tyres 20 laps. It's possible, it is possible, if you can take the medium tyres, say 15, 16 laps, then it's possible to make the hard tyres run at least 20. Of course, it's all good and well saying it on paper. Right out on track might be a different story.
Yeah, Hayden Gullis getting marvellous momentum out of the Worth curve meanwhile, and through Rauch he goes, had the inside line, but again, momentum is so equalised on that particular corner, and into Schlossgold, he's about to be caught napping. Nick Flies is back in the fray, diving down the inside to try and make something happen, but can't quite make said things happen, so now it's a dose of the DRS to try round number 2. Meanwhile, Tom has been overtaken by Formula Kai and has Gwat's close behind for company as Nick Flies will get Hayden Gullis into what is turn number 8. Scott Taylor not far behind. It is all changing hands at a rapid rate of knots as we head onto the fulcrum point of this race.
That was an important move for Formula Kite as well. He's got 8 laps on those hard tyres. He needs to try and stay in the lead if he can, but there goes Gwatz, then up the inside of Tom. In towards the first corner we go, and he does get the move done. Gwatz up into second place now, heading through turn 2 as we're at the halfway point of this race. Formula Kai leads from Gwatz and Tom in 3rd place. Tiamat Marduk is in 4th place with Nogueira in 5th. Nick is in 6th place with Scott Taylor in 7th. Hayden Gullis in 8th place with Chappers in 9th, and GB rounding off the top 10. Now, if GB is trying to make that one-stop work, he's pitted earlier than anybody else who was on a similar strategy. You have got the likes of Gwatz and you have got the likes of Tom who pitted in earlier. Tom is on 14-lap-old hard tyres at this point. He pitted in under the virtual safety car. So his hard tyres, he's probably going to have to pit in again. The question is, does he go for medium tyres or does he go for hard tyres? He'll surely go for mediums if he's going to pit in at some point.
Certainly think so. GB, meanwhile, is on the move and shoves Hayden Gullis towards the sandbox. As I've had enough, I'm coming on through, whether you like it or not. And GB bulldozing his way through into P8. Hayden shuffled down to P9 as both Aston Martins on the move. In fact, because that guy Vince is up into P10. Into the pits, though, once again, comes Nick Flies. And we saw that coming on from a mile away. He had to get off those mediums. And now, once again, he will peel into the pit lane and not leave his pit box, apparently. But we have a replay, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happened to Razin. Through the final corner, there's a car emerging from the pit lane. It's the Aston Martin of GB, and it sends Razin into a spin as the side pod contact occurs. And in a matter of moments, all momentum shifts out of his favour.
Was that GB or was that Vince exiting the pit lane there? Oh, it was GB, okay. Gareth has confirmed it was GB. They were both Aston Martins, I just wanted to be sure. But yeah, again, that's exactly what I thought it was. It was just a bit of pit lane exit drama. It's such an awkward pit lane to actually exit out of. How about this, though? Kareem is looking for some moves then. Meraki shuts the door. Now he'll switch to try and go to the inside line then. That's a big lock-up from Vince there. Can he keep that on the circuit? Yes, he can. The back end swapping on him there. Meraki trying to get the move done there on Nogueira as we make our way onwards through turn 9. And look at this, we're 2-3 wide. Anybody's called Noah's Ark by any chance? Heading our way in towards the final corner we go. There's drama, there's carnage. Ricky's around and taking a couple of cars with him as well. Yellow flags are being covered by it, but Ricky's got some damage to that front wing and he'll have to limp his way back to the pit lane there. We saw 2, we saw 3 wide going in towards turn 1 and turn 10. It's the turn 1 going the right way. I'm lost again. In any case, we knew that was going to happen. It was always on the cards.
Alex Gillen caught up in all that chaos as well, and he's making his way through on Scotty Designs into P12. No damage for the championship leader, so he's just got to lock in, get his head down, and there might be a bit of a fjord in his way. However, now he's just got to focus and fiesta his way through the pack. Up at the front, though, Formula Kai still holds the lead, but him and Gwatz have stolen a march on the rest. They've broken away from DRS. So now it's imperative for the likes of GB to get on ahead of the likes of Tom and Tiamat Marduk, who we have no doubt whatsoever will have to make another pit stop. There's surely no way they can save those tyres to the end. And indeed, right on cue, Tom peels into the pit lane.
So he's on the same strategy as Tiamat Marduk as well. So that's a call for action. He's trying to undercut Tiamat Marduk, then does Tom as he makes his way into the pit lane. And the Ricky saying it's open lobbies today. Well, down in towards the final corner, going 2 or 3 wide. I'm not quite sure what anybody expected there. No one wanted to give an inch, and in any case, Ricky lost a mile.
Couldn't agree more with you. Again, Formula Kai and Gwatz, the men of the moment, the two that have stolen a march on the rest of the grid, almost leading by 2 seconds over Tiamat Marduk. But GB, on those fresher hard compound tyres, is snapping at his heels. He's a hungry shark, waiting to devour the prey in front. But Gwatz has waited and waited, been so incredibly patient, and credit where credit is due. Has been extremely respectful racing-wise. It's so easy through that final corner as Meraki gets his way through on that guy Vince, and they're both going to absolutely gazump the green machine of Scott Taylor, the Flying Scotsman, sent plummeting down from P5, then down to P6, now down to P7, and Kareem is waiting in the wings as well, as Gwatz does take the lead of the race. Through goes the Red Bull driver, Scott Taylor, shuffled down. It's triple trouble for the green machine.
Yeah, Scott Taylor, that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it? To be passed 3 times down the same straight. He's down to P8 and with a 3-second time penalty as well. If he can hang on to that DRS, he can maybe try and fend off the attack of Alex Gillen. But Gillen is hard charging his way through now. He is not going to stop. He's got the bit between his teeth at the moment. GB then in 3rd place. He's 1.7 back from Formula Kai as we get a replay here of what happened to Ricky here, Carl.
Yes, Ricky then showing it to the inside, gives Scotty a little bit of a bump, and then there's, I mean, how can you track what on earth's happened there? He's been absolutely shafted from behind. That sends him concertinaing, all perfectly pirouetting around. It's great if you're on Strictly, however, Strictly we are not. So Gwatz actually has escaped. He's absolutely made a dash for it as Kareem 70 gets through. And the cream of the crop rises to the top. We say it time and time again. Up into P6 he goes. Has the Ferrari firmly in his sights.
Alex Gillen gets the move done on Scott Taylor, and no sooner had I said he can stay in DRS, he can try and fend off the attack. Alex Gillen was 1.3 seconds behind at turn 1. He got the move done on Scott Taylor at turn 8. Formula Kai is into the pits then to get rid of those hard tyres. More hard tyres going on then. So he's got 14 laps. Oh, that's a big moment there for the Alpine. Is that Tom? It is Tom in the final corner. All sorts of sideways. He does manage to recover. He's in P14 at the moment. But there is Nogueira making his way through in towards the first corner. And that is Formula Kai who rejoins ahead of him. And look at all of that lovely clear track that Formula Kai has ahead of him.
Fantastic stuff. Now, like we say before, he's just got to get his head down, not worry about what's happening behind, as I think an end plate went absolutely flying, and it was. Tom on the left-hand side has lost a bit of bodywork, and Nick flies to boot as it's all elbows out. It's getting extremely argy-bargy in a matter of moments. End plates are being devoured by the wayside. Through Tom went on Nogueira though, overcooked Slosh Gold, but keeps it firmly composed and in P11. Nick flies now, has the chance to go through, but is slowing down, and he's off to the side of the track against the what on earth has happened to Nick Flies? On the grass, what is going on?
Nick Fly's gardening services. Well, we've had Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas with their gardening services in Austria in the past. I think we're seeing Nick Fly set up his own business here as the 3rd of them. Well, in any case, he's making his way slowly. I wonder if that's going to be a retirement in the pit lane. Scott Taylor, meanwhile, gets the new fresh of rubber onto the car. Looks like that's hard tyres going onto the Sauber then, and it is, as he makes his way through and out of the pit lane. His teammate Nogueira making his way into the pit lane not long after, as now we see Scott Taylor make his way back into P14 as we make our way through. Jess is correct in saying that, well, Nick Flies is retiring in the pit lane, so there we go. He can retire. He is retiring from this race. So we're down to 19, and remarkably, we've made it through 24 laps of the second race before we see a retirement in this one.
Well, I think we would have imagined that he should have been able to retire in the pits, because otherwise it would just be perpetual purgatory for the rest of time for the McLaren. Our Pulsar bows out. Like you say, it's our first retirement of the day. Unbelievable stuff. Everybody keeping it crisp and clean. Mostly as Tiamat Marduk almost completely overcooks Remus corner. Into the pits, though, comes that guy Vince. So more and more people pulling the pit lane trigger. And I think it's Lolinoba who was first out of the ones that have pit very recently. Kai then goes through, and I have no doubt Tom will go through, possibly. We shall soon find out. As through goes Tom, indeed he does. And then right on cue, Tiamat Marduk and a bunch of others will shuffle their way on as well, but on significantly older tyres. Fresh mediums for that guy Vince, who will be completely casseroling the grid.
He will on those fresh mediums, those fresh boots. We'll see what he can do. Gwatz leads the way meanwhile. Tom running wide. He's got that front wing damage. He's also got a 3-second time penalty. He will be limping at this point. He'll be hoping and praying there's a safety car where he can at least get on some fresh rubber and change the front wing. Without that, he's sort of a sitting duck out there at a track where not only is it a power circuit, but you need the aero behind you as well. Kareem then right onto the back of Meraki in this battle for third place. Kareem looks to make his way into the pit lane. Kareem then, 11-lap-old hard tyres, is looking to see if he can just maybe see if Meraki will respond to that. He's on a similar age of tyres then. Kareem pits in, puts on a fresh set of medium tyres, and he'll make his way back out onto the circuit. I wonder if he's reacting to that guy Vince, or if he's just trying to pull the trigger and see if the likes of Meraki, Gillen and Razin Shai will respond. Alex Gillen is on the youngest of the hard tyres. He's on 9-lap-old hards. It's possible he can get them to the end, but will he?
Oh, he's comfortably out ahead of that guy Vince, which is good news. However, Kareem was the big beneficiary, remember, from staying out longer, being brave and extending his second stint, getting the freshest medium tyres of the lot. That's ultimately what endeared him to being in the contention for the win in the first place. He's gone on slightly earlier, like you say, to potentially pull the trigger on the likes of GB, of Meraki and Alex Gillen and co. But he does have his teammate as a barricade, and he has to be the biggest barricade possible, but it's going to be very difficult when you've got GB. In fact, it's even more difficult when you peel into the pit lane. Never mind, the second Red Bull pulls the pit lane trigger, as does Meraki, and now, balls in your court, GB, Alex Gillen and co. Do you dare go for that one stop?
Well, Gillen is staying out for now. He's got 10 laps recorded on those hard tyres with 10 laps to go. So, in essence, you know, he's 20-lap-old hard tyres. We've seen hard tyres being run 20 laps. Team at Marduk managed 19 lap on a set of hard tyres in the middle stint, so it is possible to do that. How much pace will you lose towards the end? Meraki then making his way out of the pit lane. Where will he rejoin? He rejoins clear of that guy Vince behind Tiamat Marduk, and now he can try and press on and see what he can do in this race. He rejoins behind Kareem. He's only he's about 2 seconds behind at the moment, but that is time he can make up, but he's got to get going.
Yeah, looks to burn rubber practically instantaneously as Kareem piling on the pressure on Tom up ahead. Does he dare to dive at the inside of Schlossgold? Not quite, because he's going to try and set up the exit as best he can on board with the championship chaser. The man sat in P2, was the bridesmaid for a while, became the bride last time out to take his first win, and he sweeps on past Tom to take P6. Ben was looking to try and gain the advantage, showed the nose and contact made with the rear left of the Alpine car, and now it's that delightful descent down to the old turn 1, the Niki Lauda curve, what is now turn 10. Ben thinks better of it though, having been completely caught out by Kai earlier on. The phrase goes a day late and a dollar short. It might be sugarcoating it a little bit there, but Tiamat Marduk, second time of asking, much more alongside. He does have front wing damage again, but he does make the move stick.
He does, yeah. We've got Tiamat Marduk and Tom both with the front wing damage, and there you can see Meraki in the background trying to take full advantage of the squabbling duo, and he does make his way up into 8th place. He knows these moves are so important at this stage of the race. He cannot let Kareem get too far up the road then. Otherwise, it might cause a little bit of a headache towards the end of this race. Ricky does set the fastest lap of the race in his pursuit against Tuki. There are the Alpines then. So Razin gets past Tom. Razin back on the power, trying to see if he can stick onto the back of that guy Vince then. And they're on similar age of tyres. In fact, Razin Chai is on 2 lap younger tyres than Vince at this stage of the race. There is Ricky, who's on the back of Tuki as we make our way through in towards Rock Corner. As on the power we go, then getting a little bit of curb then and looking to go the long way round at Schlossgold maybe. He's certainly thinking about it. He certainly wants to do it. He'll go for the switchback instead then. Back on the power he goes then to get the power down earlier. He'll get the DRS as well, and he's passed even before the DRS is even open. And Ricky moves himself up into P17.
Absolutely textbook from Ricky there. Stinging the tail like a scorpion, and he's rocked Tuki like a hurricane. Through he goes into P17. Action all the way up and down the field. It's already lap number 29 as well. This race has absolutely flown by. And in big news, Kai is not nearly catching Alex Gillen, and particularly GB, at enough of a rate at all. They are holding that gap. The gap at the moment is over 13 seconds between Formula Kai and the race lead. So it looks like if they can make that one stop work and keep the tyres alive, it's surely a guaranteed P1 and 2.
Yeah, Kareem being the chaser in this has to roll the dice. He has to be the one that does something different. If he stays on the same strategy as Gillen, he's got a chance of catching, but is there a chance of passing? On the fresher tyres, at least he gave himself a chance. But as you say, at this rate of knots, it's not going to be enough. 7 laps to go here, 6 and a bit if you're picky. It's GB who leads the way from Alex Gillen in second place. There, third place is Formula Kai. It's Gwatz in fourth place with Lolinoba in fifth and Kareem in sixth. And he is now on the back of Lolinoba as we make our way through in towards turn 1. There is Kareem, who's second in the series right now, through towards turn 2. We ride on board with him as Formula Kai gets a 3-second time penalty. Lolinoba is going to defend his 5th place position as we head away through in towards turn 3, then through turn 4 at the bottom of Verth. As we get back onto the power, then Lolinoba struggles for traction on the exit of Verth in towards Rolka Corner. And now back on the power we go then and on towards Schlossgold. I imagine Kareem is going to try and set something up here if he can. Bit of a lock up there from Lolinoba. That's like blood to a shark for Kareem as he'll get the DRS wide open, pulls to the left-hand side and swoops his way past into 5th place as we head away on towards turn 8.
Yeah, the colour red usually the one that makes the bull tick, and Kareem's going to have to worry about the red chaser very soon because Meraki is also all over the back of the contactless transaction car. Both have DRS though, so any advantage is immediately equalised. Shows the nose to the inside, smartly saves that battery though, and then through the Niki Lauda curve they go to start their 31st tour of the Austrian Grand Prix. Down the inside goes Meraki, no resistance put up by Lolinoba as the Ferrari man ascends up into P6.
And there is Razan Chai as well, looking to try and make it a third move on Lolinoba in about 2 laps as he looks down the inside at turn 3. That'll put him on the outside for turn 4, but he doesn't need turn 4 as Razan Chai moves himself up into 7th place. A nice move there, bit of bravery, and there's got to be a lot of trust in Lolinoba to pull off a move like that, but Razin got the move done then. On board now with Tim Marduk as we make our way through in towards Schlossgold and in towards turn 6 then. Back on the power we go, and back out of turn 7, up the hill we go towards Remus at turn 8. And you can see draining the battery maybe a little bit. Now saving it, just making sure, the battery management is so important in races like these. You have to make sure you have enough battery at the right time. But look at that run for Tiamat Marduk. He gets the run on Lolinoba, and look at that go Vince as well, trying to pick up the toe from Tiamat Marduk as we make our way in towards the final corner. And Lolinoba says, I'm going for fastest lap instead.
Fair enough. Anything to garner up an extra point, you might as well do. Lap number 32 of this Austrian Grand Prix as an Alpine and a Ferrari are going into combat. Razin looking to make up for lost time, of course, with that pit lane contact earlier. One Alpine going, potentially fighting, the other one also trying to make their way on through with an almighty ascension, but can't quite get past Scott Taylor. Do you have to be careful of track limits, though? More so in the first race, actually, because things have spaced out a little bit more in this one. So 3-second penalties, you might just get away with it. 6 seconds, probably not though. Sorry, Scott Taylor. GB and Alex though, keeping things extremely controlled, and Kai and Co behind, even with the 2-stop strategy, they can't put the pace down, not nearly as much as they would have hoped for.
Yeah, Meraki as well, trying to see what he can do, try and get onto the back of Kareem, then 2.1 separate them at the moment. Gwatz 1.9 seconds behind Formula Kai, but Formula Kai has a 3-second time penalty. Looking at the lap times between them, Formula Kai has just set a 1 minute 6.9, and the car behind in Gwatz has just set a 1 minute 7.2. So Formula Kai is trying to open up that gap as much as he possibly can. Meanwhile, there is Infratic then, who got a drive-through penalty early on in this race for speeding under the virtual safety car. We haven't seen a lot of the Ferrari man, but there he is up into 17th place and battling for 17th place with Tuki and Nogueira. I mean, it's a battle he'll be relishing because he spent a lot of this race all on his own.
Yeah, Tuki in a sandwich of the Portuguese men of war, and usually that doesn't end very well. But so far, keeping it clean, so credit where credit is due. Scotty Designs, by the way, going into combat with Chappers. On board with a Williams driver through the fast left-hander, the Rint curve. Keep it, if in doubt, absolutely flat out. Got absolutely no electrical energy to play with whatsoever, and it might well have been Scotty Designs making the move and then trying to make the great escape. Meanwhile, the Portuguese men of war have just fought the farm a little bit too hard because Tuki has been caught up in all kinds of chaos, shuffled down into P19. Disaster right at the back of the pecking order. Meanwhile, Razin and Co. side by side through the Niki Lauda curve, and that's how you get 2 cars side by side through the old turn 1. But the battle's not done yet because the second stanza arrives. Meraki looks to the outside, but Razin poises the car firmly in the way of defense, and he says, no, you don't, sunshine.
How about that, though? Razin as well got caught up in a bit of pit lane drama, pit lane exit drama, where he was facing the wrong way at one point, and he's done so well to get back up into P6. Meraki there trying to see what he can do towards the end as well on those fresh medium tyres. They're both on the same age medium tyres, so that's not going to work this time around. Formula Kai, is really important that he gets 3 seconds up the road from Gwatz. He's setting enough lap time at the moment. It was 2/10 advantage he had over Gwatz last time around. It's teetering on just enough with, well, 2 laps to go as we make our way in towards the final couple of corners. There is your race leader, GB, leading the way. He started in 9th place and is making this one-stop work to an absolute T here. We were going the right way round. 2 stops were absolutely, no question, the fastest strategy. But send the cars the wrong way round the circuit, it's almost like it's a completely different circuit. How funny is that? And the one stop seems to be the one that makes it work, as we've got a Mercedes, that's Tukey running a little bit wide. I think he's just jumping out of the way. Oh no, he's got a puncture. Front left puncture for Tukey. He's been on those tyres for 19 laps. But a front left puncture, so if he's been involved in incidents or if he's been across the gravel, been across the road a little bit too often, then he will get those. I mean, he's just got himself a 10-second penalty. Way to kick a man when he's down.
Was that a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits or cutting a corner?
Yeah.
He was driving at like 2 miles an hour. Give him a chance, honestly. But up at the front, I mean, Kai will be kicking himself a little bit because he has actually gained quite a lot now. The gap, what was 13 seconds a few laps ago, now on the edge of being underneath 9 seconds. But for Gwatz behind, this is now mission critical in the Red Bull man's corner. He's got to keep it within 3 seconds as Kai goes wide once again here, using another corner cutting and exceeding track limits token possibly to give himself a couple of tenths of a second to try and cement the podium. That's all he's got to do as more and more battles, all scores yet to be settled. But I mean, up at the front, GB, I mean, class act as Tiamat Marduk goes through on that guy, Vince. GB's been an absolute class act this race. Absolutely brilliant. Made the one-stop work, and it's always with these fast drivers, it's like a boomerang. You try and throw them as far away from the podium or victory as possible, whether it's forwards or backwards, but they will simply always return.
Absolutely, and GB here has done a superb job as he makes his way in towards turn 8 here for the final time, as he'll then get back onto the power. Onwards he will go, powering through turn 9 and onwards towards the final corner we go then. GB has made the one-stop work to absolute perfection. He'll make his way through the final corner and winning the wrong way round. It's GB who wins race 2 tonight in the Creator Series. A wonderful job from the Aston Martin driver. Alex Gillen also on the one-stop, finishes in 2nd place. Really good drive from him. And Formula Kai does not take 3rd place by 3/100ths of a second. It goes to Gwatz then. Kareem across the line in 5th place. Razin will he get his way across the line ahead of Meraki by 3.5/100ths of a second. Tiamat Marduk across the line in 8th place. That guy Vince in 9th. Scott Taylor should come across the line in 10th place, which he does. Tom, crashes into the wall. No doubt in a little bit of frustration. He'll drop down to 12th place there. Hayden Gullis in 11th place. Lolly Nova then in 13th place. Scotty Designs, by the way, will finish across the line in 14th place, with Chappers across the line in 15th place. And the last driver on the lead lap is Nogueira. There he is. He's making his way onwards and downwards towards turn 10, the final corner. Well, it's certainly a race that well and truly delivered there. And it's a win on the board for the Aston Martin driver of GB.